So again, that solo top Trundle. We'll see if he runs that same 9-2 and 10 score as last time, or if he falters ever so slightly. But Voyboy now on Gangplank, seeing him for one of the first times this tournament. We'll see how it plays out.
Indeed, I really would have thought that Rumble top again, but we did not see it. They do have the Maokai again. I still like that. The odd one playing very well. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And that's what they're going to be running with here. Skara milling about. It looks like he will gather with Jat up top. And we finally have Voyboy coming out of that spawn. 45 seconds here as Minions about to spawn. A little over a minute, or a little under a minute, I should say. And looks like TSM has set up for maybe a possible peek. That's not really somewhere you run. You'd see him set up in the bush just above where TSM is. But the special is going to be the first one in there. And may just throw a ward down. He throws out the CV. Yes, he is going to throw the ward. They are going to know when wraiths are being taken. That's very good for them. Map awareness and knowing where the position of your enemy is huge in League of Legends, especially this early in the game.
Yeah, and we'll see what they end up doing with this. Still milling back and forth. See what these guys try to do. Certainly waiting for the minions to spawn, and no one is really aggressing into the jungle. Actually, TSM pushing up towards the Wraith camp. They might actually have KX pull it, and then everyone else just get the kills. That is actually going to be the case. Going to get some free experience here right at the start here. A lot of damage being dealt out, picking up these Wraiths. I like that a lot from Solo Mid because they're going to get a lot of golden experience, and it's going to disrupt Jat's jungle pattern ever so slightly. Those will not respawn for 1 minute and 40 seconds. So you're going to see those respawn at about 3:30. And he's going to be long past that by then.
Looks like everybody returning to their respective lanes. Odd one starting at Golems. Oh no, doing small camps. Wow, he made it around there quite fast actually. And we are going to have Voyboy, Rainman up top, Gangplank versus Trundle. Wow, whoa, Jat. Jat is going for the early harass here, finds the odd one, quite low HP, and he does not pressure that too much, knowing that Trundle could quickly come down. Very nice job by Jat. He's coming up right in the backside. 2 minutes and 38 seconds into this matchup. We already have ganks coming from Jat. I don't even think he made it to his wraiths. I think he just said to himself, they probably took it. I'm going to go for some fast aggression.
Yep, and he's still back onto the Rayman, pushing him around quite a lot. They have learned their lesson. He's actually going to camp him there. I actually like this idea quite a bit. He's going to recall in the brush, so Rainman does not know if he's staying or not. They must use a clairvoyance or a face check to see if he's there. Rainman's still playing defensively. You can see he's going to go up for a last hit, but and now he knows he's gone. He would have gotten jumped on right now, so Rainman knows he's safe. And he will survive for now, but Voyboy getting a lot of gold out of this. First to level 3 is quite useful. Actually, wow, Scar taking some good damage from Reginald. Reginald probably landing some great walls and some great Qs. Scar getting hit again, and the flash is in from Reginald. Scar's going to drop some time bombs on, but Reginald going to pick up that kill. The flash out is not enough. Reginald will get that kill. First blood onto Scar. Excellent play by him.
That was very aggressive play to know you would always be taking that AoE damage. I mean, you're going down in the end anyways, and he can just lay waste, especially the fact that he jumped into Reginald's minions. So that means Reginald's lay waste is not hitting a second opponent, doing all the double damage it needs to do.
Yep, absolutely true. So, well, Jat did take over that lane for a short time. Zillion is on his way back. See how that pans out for him. But wow, Reginald doing an excellent job, and he was one of the stories of the last game, playing an excellent cast, and despite not farming tons of gold, was able to just harass his opponents in the team fights and not die despite being rather squishy. And you see him winning that mid lane very successfully as well.
Voyboy heading back, Philo and wards, very nice for him, farming well, and he's also going for the GP10. See down bottom, Cutie Pie did go, and we discussed this before without having that.
Scar getting caught in mid-sire real quick though. Oddman getting in there. Scar dropped again. Had already burned flash last time to no survival, and now having the Oddman come in there. Wall of Pain plus all that initiation says that's a free kill. Thank you very much. I'll take that gold and experience. Enjoy your solo lane.
That becomes dangerous. Reginald was not the one to get the early kills last time. It was the odd one, but Reginald has picked up those first two, the first one being First Blood, and nicely giving the assist on that second one to odd one as well. So very good money being made by Reginald. He is definitely dominating mid lane right now, just 5 minutes into the game.
Yep, and now Voyboy, no, he can't really harass the Rainman, who's got Cloth Armor and potions. Parley will not do enough damage to force him out. Voyboy's last hitting with Parley then instead, trying to earn that gold. It's working for him so far, putting points into Parley, getting the extra gold income every time. I can dig it. Plus 6 gold so far, not too bad.
Great harass down bottom. Kaox just getting an explosive shot down, making sure Tristana's always taking damage to, Ezreal's taking damage to negate those health pots.
Yeah, Cutie Pie is actually out of mana in this case. He's been using those Mystic Shots quite a lot. Meanwhile, Kaox full health and full mana. Those harassments are working quite well. Locust, of course, has no heals on that champion, so any damage dealt to Cutie Pie is more or less permanent. His base health regen is all he can take. And again, Kaox in a great position to land those harassing shots down there. It works quite well for him. The shield goes out. Some harass from Cutie Pie again.
That's a great job by Locust focusing on those shields and trying to keep Cutie Pie's health up, but just so much attack from Tristana and Xpecial, especially with those power chords if he can get it out. For Voyboy back up top, we're going to see how these two are faring against each other. 41 creeps to 27 creeps, so very nice job by Voyboy coming out big on the Rainman. Jat in the beginning doing a lot of aggression to Rainman, stopped him from getting a creep score, and that's really when Voyboy started to take advantage. It is 6-5 in that lane, so we could see Voyboy helping anywhere around the map as Gangplank's ulti is that global. We'll have to see how that comes into play in these early fights where he is not in it.
That's true. It's exceptionally smart, too. You would almost love to see a Karthus on that team again with the double global ults.
Yep.
Even a Soraka in there, but those kind of all got banned out or chosen. So that was not the case here. But also want to point out what the Rayman is doing here is notice his base MR is only 38, which is just basically from leveling up. He actually got 77 armor, and that is from Runes and Masteries. That when you know what your lane opponent is going to be, have a rune page ready to counteract that champion's harass. And in this case, you see him taking pretty much no damage from Gangplank because of that armor stack. And that is actually extremely important for these top players, is having these strong rune pages that counteract their opponents.
Oh, that Catalyst down. A very nice speed up by Skara. That one of those lay wastes is just tearing through his HP. Reginald taking damage from minions there as he did accidentally get that auto attack onto Skara, and they turned on him. But you can see that Catalyst, that blue and green spinning around him right now, that sprite that is going to give him that health and mana back from Catalyst to Protector. His sustain and lane is very good right now. Looks like the odd one meandering his way in through the jungle, and he's going to be pinched in here. Rainman versus the odd one. He does not know he's coming up behind him. I believe he still has his orange here, so he will be able to get out of a twisted advance. There's one. There's the orange, and it's K. Will he be able to get out alive? The dot from Trundle is on him. Being slowed down. It is the Karthus ulti. The sapling is running. Oh no, he stays alive just by a sliver. Voyboy pumping the pots and the oranges to keep himself on the field.
Excellent job by him. Does survive that gank. Nice job by Reginald as well, landing that Requiem, but it still gave them control over blue. And look at that, Reginald, you know, they taste better when they're free. Golems are no exception. Thank you very much. Some gold income and infinite mana. Yes, please.
That's nice. Catalyst and blue, that doesn't suck.
Not at all. So those Q spams are going to be strong. Skara not going to have a fun time in this lane. Still without Catalyst, boots, wards, potions. Yeah, sure. But Reginald, yeah, Catalyst already been in the lane for a while. Also last hitting minions. Also a blue buff. Yeah, he's got 800 gold just chilling as well. So Reginald very far ahead of Skara. And the thing is, the late game is so good for Team Solo mid as well. You've got, you know, mass farming Trundle. Actually, you can't say that's really necessarily better than mass farming Gangplank, but I believe that Tristana will outscale the Ezreal. They've got those Sona dances, which are probably pretty equal. But Zilean, really, his damage falls off a little bit late game compared to someone like Karthus. And also, you've got to realize that if you're reviving someone who does less damage than a Tristana, Tristana is a little bit more useful there. So we'll see how that pans out. They'll be pretty safe as this game runs around, certainly, but their damage output not necessarily there.
Looks like we do have a ping for the ward on Dragon. They're going to go ahead and throw that out. CV is down, so they may have seen Sona just on the backside running there. Janna going up as well. Looks like she wants to give a little bit of harass, throw out one of her own wards as well. Voyboy, Rainman just going at creep farm up top. We do see Reginald in mid by himself as Skara has come down. He may have tried to get into the bush. They do have a ward in that tri-bush though, so they probably saw him back off, playing quite cautious. Kaox, you know, it might make it even easier to read when they're not aggressive. Then that's not the ward, because that initial Xpecial Kaox lane is always at your turret.
Yeah, they play exceptionally well. They ward very well. Their jungler is a phenomenal player. And yeah, they've been able to do a lot of pushing in. And there we go, Cutie Pie again taking some damage. Nice actually harass back on a Kaox, doing some really good damage here, but Sona's addition makes them run away. Of course, she still has that ultimate. If Cutie Pie was not careful there, could have landed that crescendo and probably gotten a kill for it.
Yeah, that was a great job by Kaox, knowing, you know, he was going to take a lot of damage, but he knew he would not die in that situation. So he's like, we're going to get the upper hand here. Let's push him out of lane. Now, let's go for Dragon.
Yep, and you look at the top lane, though, meanwhile, 0 deaths on both sides, 62 to 66 on last hits. The Voyboy has the gold for 10. So that gold, 2,700, 2,500, is adding up for him. Of course, Parlay is part of that as well.
Nice job by Skarner. Jack coming in, able to stop the Dragon. They did not want him to go for that quick smite, so it looks like they just go back into lane. They're pinging down Tribush. We're going to see Special go ahead and ward that again. Very good communication between these teams. I don't know if they definitely see him. Nice cue. Mystic shot onto Special. And they will start it again now that everybody's there. Quite odd, but let's see what happens here.
They can see all the members of Dignitas. Voiboy's teleport is up. Dignitas has to guess, and they guess correctly, but Tristan is an amazing placement right now. And they're still not coming in just yet. Jat's in there. They could run the teleport, though there aren't any wards here, so that's a little scary. They've actually pushed them back despite it being a 4v4 with a blue buff on Reginald. Oh, they got to grab Kaox right now. He's going to flash away. He's still alive. He's going to get knocked up. And there's Reginald jumping in as well. Jat not in good shape. Cutie ulting through, doing some damage there, but Kaox going to pick up Locust. No, the shield comes up, but there's Gangplank. Can he get the kill? Voiboy, one more attack to go. Carly does not go off the time. He flashes. There's the kill. Now Special extremely low, and Voiboy staying on it, but so is the rest of that team. The kill does go in, but the kill trades back. 2 for 2 so far. Jack, Cutie running away. Rainman full of farm right now. The wall of pain is there. There's going to be some deaths, almost for sure. Revive in. That's smart. Cutie going to stay in there. Jat now for sure to die. Skara needs to run away from this. Cutie is going to try to get out. The haste is there for Skara.
Oh, thought we were going to see the Arcane Shift. Didn't have enough mana. It was a very good job by Dignitas, just or Team Solo Mid saying, hey, he's got Zillion's ulti on him. Let's just wait for a second. You know, they actually did get that last hit, but very nice job focusing on Janna in the fight to get her out. She was only able to use her ulti for herself. That team was split very well by Team Solo Mid in that one as they went for Dragon. So Dignitas kind of out of place in that one. We'll have to see if they can pull it back on the next one. This Dragon now, I believe the first one going to Team Solo Mid. We'll see that again at 18-15.
Yep, absolutely. Remember that time, 18-15, the Dragon respawn. Just brand that into your brains. Kayak so far being exceptionally well. He did a great job escaping. Then he got pushed on by Skarner, got pulled in. A lot of damage up was there. But again, look at these Dignitas lineups. 0 stuns in this team. There was a Skarner ult, and they landed it, and then it was like, all right, well, we got kind of a knock-up, got some slows, I guess, and they couldn't keep Tristana pinned down. And you saw her, flash, rocket jump, all that, actually got out. Flashed away from the Gangplank. Gangplank had to flash to chase that one down. Now Voiboy did turn up with 2 kills there. And actually, wow, going AD carry style. BF Sword already grabbed to complement that Philosopher's Stone to not go for maybe a Warmogs or anything like that. It's saying, no. I'm going for a BF Sword. I'm going for damage output. This is my goal here, is to kill people. And they kill that ward there, Dignitas. That's pretty smart of them. They've got ward control of the brush. We'll see how that pans out. PewDiePie getting that Wriggles, although that Wriggles did not give them a Dragon last time. We'll see if it pans out any better as the game goes on.
Looks like Mao is odd one holding up top. As Rainman going for red right now. Looks like he's going to grab that against Voiboy. He has his own Grog Soats blade, if you will.
Basically. Dot and slow.
So they're going to give this to Skara. A little bit of donation here on the blue, which Reginald does not have yet. I'm not remembering the timing on TSM's blue right now, but it should be soon because they are usually gotten right after one another. We do have Reginald backing. Looks like he could be going for that blasting wand. Just keep going for that Rod of Ages here. We'll have to see what he gets once he gets back into base. He has actually stayed, and this could give Jat a chance, but they have a ward there. Never mind, as I head down towards Jat and the Wraiths. Looks like they won't be getting any aggression from there. Reginald feels, I guess, that he knew where Jat was. He wanted to stay and push that lane all the way up. Now we see him backing. Pretty good amount of aggression here coming from Dignitas on the bottom 80 support lane, as they are now pushing Kaox and Xpecial back, so they can. Seems like they can back as well. Everybody trying to reset here, get the items into their favor, and get back to lane.
Yep, Reginald Skara, 2-level advantage is very significant right there. There's no good counteract to that Karthus ultimate. There's no real AoE magic resist buffs, no AoE heals, aside from the Janna ult on Dignitas' team. And I mean, they could probably choose to do that if she gets enough ability power. It's going to heal pretty decently. It's 280 health, which is not bad at all. Look over what Reginald will do with his ultimate, getting a blue buff right now. It's 430, so it's not too far removed if you count magic resist. So, okay, yeah, in an ideal teamfight scenario, Locust could probably heal back most of that ultimate. We'll see if she gets ability power over the course of this game, or if Reginald will just simply outscale her. But right now, you got Voiboy and Rainman kind of doing battle. Voiboy still farming gold, 112 minions. Ezreal not far behind that either.
Rainman hitting pretty hard right now with those right-click attacks. He didn't even get a rabid bite on. Those 2 shots put Voiboy where he is right now.
Absolutely true. We see Xpecial and Kaox pushing aggressively, and Maokai waiting in the brush, but he's been spotted by that ward. They do know about it. About 30 seconds left on that ward, and they're just pushing the turret down. This is good. Ezreal ult is strong. Wow, actually, Special took some good damage there. See if that pans out for him.
They are going to push this out.
There.
Yep. Trundle still staying on the push. And finally, we do have Reginald backing. And actually, he goes straight for the Rod of Ages, so we will have that at 15 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll see what Skara has at this point. He is just with that Catalyst to protect her, but he does have 1,500 in his pocket, so he's doing quite well for himself. Reginald 119 to 92 of Skara on that creep score. Your highest of the game right now is 121, and that's going to be on Cutie Pie.
Yeah, 121. Wow, 125 just picked up there by Karthus. Got a whole big chunk of minions there. Certainly a lot of very farm champions here. Voidboy, though, I think is highest in individual gold, 5,300. No, actually, Karthus is ahead of that because it is 3 kills. So Reginald still the most gold-focused champion in this game. And you can see when he plays Karthus, his playstyle is a bit different. He's really going for the gold income this time, not in the ganks, pushing Skara around quite a bit. Both with a lot of mana, though, and that means Reginald having to use health potions to stay alive in these fights. And Skara is just tossing out those time bombs.
Very nice damage down on that bottom turret by Locust and Cutie Pie. After so much aggression from Chaox and Xpecial, they're actually pushing their lane quite well. Maybe able to win it on the turret win, not necessarily one on creep score. But to get that global gold for your team helps out quite a bit. The CVs go out. Locust heading up to replace this ward. It is just about expended.
Yep, Xpecial wanted to play aggressive because he knew that Maokai's waiting in the wings, that Karthus has ultimate on. If they get into a 2v2, it's going to be a 4v2 very quickly. But now Jat coming by. A fresh ward, though, just put down. Jat can't go through that way without getting spotted. Might go around the side. TSM actually can't see that river. Meanwhile, a lot of great vision, though. Oh, man, they're jumping in again. Chaos, the damage output. Reginald will ult. Should not result in too much.
Everybody waiting to come off the fountain was like, all right, Karthus ulti, hang on, turn around real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Voidboy and Scar getting their health back up there.
So Voidboy going for a little different build here. He's not going to go for straight tank, the Atmogs. He is going to go for the Bloodthirster, early damage, and just really keep himself in there. As you saw before, he was quite tanky in that 3v2 fight, and he was able to take out 2 before he went down. He seems to be quite happy with the defense that he has for himself right now, especially with Skara being there and being able to bring him back to life. Good pressure here by TSM down bottom. Jat could initiate here if he gets that onto Sona. There's the ulti onto Sona. Can they get enough damage down? It doesn't seem like anybody had the focus, though. And it looks like she will be able to get away that bomb. No, the last Ezreal attack. Very nice job there. And who is the focus going to be? We see the teleport coming down in. Chaos forced to rocket jump away. And Dignitas' health is falling quite slowly, but they're able to stay alive. Reginald coming in, putting on Defile. Will he be able to hit the late waste that he needs? And they are absolutely doing perfect dodges on Reginald. Not much he can do about that. The ultimate is onto Skarner, but it wastes before he goes down.
Cutie, but that was a mistake. He jumped right back in there and got pegged by that late wave at the very end there. Amazing timing by solo mid. Skarner had the Zillion ult on. The second it wore out, they were like, and go. And they picked up both those kills. It was otherwise a 2 for 0 by Dignitas. An amazing open to that fight. But solo mid was like, actually, you know, we got this. And now with the jungler and the main mage having high damage output, they could go for the dragon right away. But Voidboy's pushing mid, and that might actually stop them from doing much.
Yeah, Voidboy's doing everything he can right now. He's got 20 stacks on that. I believe he could take out Reginald here. He did not pass through that. And if he just kind of walks circles around Reginald, that lave waste will not hit, but he does not like the situation or vision that he has there. His team is not far, or not close to him. Now that they have gathered together, they may think twice about this as the CV goes out. There is a vision ward by Xpecial. Wow, he is quite out of position right now. If they were to go down and take him out, that would be quite quick for them. And it looks like they may initiate this. Very nice, a vision ward from Locust as well. And it looks like they may have an unopposed dragon here. A good amount of damage coming out.
Yep, the team is there, and that Wriggles will help them through this very, very fast. Skarner does not wear one, but he does wear double gold per 10 and an Aegis. I like that build. I think that's a phenomenal build, especially for someone like Skarner, who can deal damage without auto attacks being required there. That Q, Crystal Slash, doing some really, really good damage to jungle monsters.
Yep.
And it allows him to be a big force throughout the game, especially if you play. So if you're St. Vicious in your jungle, you run around and take everyone else's farm and get into a carry. But the odd one, Jat and Dan Din, all three of them play in a way that's not focused on CS, but more on helping their team out. And these guys actually run around and they rely more on gold per 10 and more on allowing their other solo lanes to farm their gold constantly. And in this case, gold per 10 and Aura is kind of the way to go here.
Yeah, very nice as they just picked up 390 global. It was a great job by them, able to get some items under their belt. Dragon's going to be coming up at 25:30 on that time. Reginald still in mid. He has blue for himself. Looks like he's going for another blasting wand. Going to be seeing that Rabadon's coming out soon, possibly.
Looks like 20 utility build for Voyboy. They're just kind of like looking around at the build, seeing what people are doing. Showing off everything around here. Showing down the stats on everybody real quick, because we have a little bit of a lull in the mid game as people have just finished the major objectives. A lot of turrets have fallen. You can see it's a lot of turrets. It's 1-0. Yes, I'm good at hyperbole.
And you can see in the bottom left as well. You can see how the players have skilled. If you're wondering how, if they're playing your favorite champion, how they skill up and what skills they get first. We can see there Tristana has 5 into her rocket jump and 2 both in her Q, an explosive shot. And then obviously leveling your ulti as it comes up for you.
Special maxing out on the Q, going for high damage output.
Yeah.
And sustain next. Reginald actually prioritizing Defile over Wall. That is actually something that some Crisis players do differently. I've seen other pros level Wall of Pain over Defile, but Reginald chooses the damage output. Rayman getting that top turret for free. Good by him. It's the odd one. His build. Jungle, by the way, maxing Q, that arcane smash for the slow and just the repeated hits there. And then the Rain Man's build, you can see only 1 in pillar. And actually an initiation over the wall right here. Voyboy trying to get away. A great pillar there by Rain Man. Voyboy will survive, though.
Gangplank, always one of those characters that can take a few hits and you can feel all right with it. Obviously, you have the orange. If anything goes too terribly wrong, get in a car accident, orange, it's K. Armageddon, orange, it's K. That's just how it plays out.
I feel you. Makes a lot of sense. And actually maxing oranges, by the way, so it's Raise Morale, the last one to level there. Let's see what these players can do.
Voyboy, I believe, almost to that full stack, and it looks like he's also going for the warm. He actually might build the Atmogs after that Bloodthirster, still going for it. Yep.
It's very likely to be the build. I'm sad to not see Trinity Force, but it's okay. As long as you bring it to a game 3, I forgive whatever you've done. I want a game 3, okay? After that, it's whatever, but I want a game 3. And a good push by Solo Mid, now bringing it 2-1 on turrets. Excellent job by them, controlling, again, the map. It is rare to see TSM not ahead in turrets. It is common to see them ahead in turrets. In case I got the negatives wrong, you should see TSM win in turrets for the mid-game.
Always, and something I have pointed out, and I feel I pointed out too much when it was happening, is that usually you don't see them losing a turret up to like 30 minutes. They have really good lane control, especially with that teleport. But there's been a lot of action towards that dragon area and a lot of team fights so far. So this is a different kind of game here. There's a lot of aggression from both teams, and there's sometimes you cannot stop that from happening.
Yep, KX going to head back up towards top lane. Pretty safe lane, no one's around him. Dragon, of course, will not respawn, at least for a minute and a half. See how that pans out. Bottom lane going to be Ezreal versus Trundle. Keypie should be safe here, although Rayman can put in some good pressure. Kind of pushing down through the brush there. PewDiePie not quite stopping him. Trinity Force soon.
Ezreal again, that true shot barrage, clearing out minions. So he's going to go back into his own jungle as they gather up around Wraiths. Not too much vision on either side of the jungle. Dignitas has warded theirs a bit as well. That's going to be great, especially in that position to blue over to Baron. They will have good position and vision for any fight that happens in that area, probably for the next minute or so. These wards are actually quite fresh. They're just about 50%.
Yep, Warmog's now picked up on Voyboy. Look at the builds over here. Trundle actually rushing for a Frozen Mallet. He's almost there as well. Infinity Edge already completed on Tristana, and Tristana is going to be a very large menace here. 6,700 gold. Actually behind the farm of Ezreal, but Ezreal has invested heavily in things that aren't direct damage output, like Wriggles and like Sheen. They matter a lot when you queue, but it's not an Infinity Edge.
Yeah, Trundle grabbing that Frozen Mallet's going to be really awesome, especially if he's, like we saw last game when he was chasing down X Special on Sona, the fact that he was just on Contaminate and you could not get away. And then with Frozen Mallet slowing you as well, you're just going to be right in Trundle's face the entire time he chases you down, and that pillar is going to help even more. So he is just complementing the CC that his team has right now, and it's going to be very hard for these guys to escape this fight unless Locust can get some nice tornadoes in and really disperse them.
Let's see. KX heading back towards top, just still farming it up. 3 in mid for Dignitas. They could push this turret down. Honestly, I feel like they should go for it because they know where pretty much everyone else is. There would have been some free turret damage. They probably could have bursted it down. Only 1,500 health. That's totally doable. Radovage just finally finished on Skara's Zillion. We'll see what he has now for money. Not able to afford.
Also, no Oracles. The Warring Oracles. No Oracles yet on either side.
Yeah, they've been investing in
there it
big
is.
boards a lot.
Odd one calling me a liar. As Oracles, thanks.
Get owned.
And he does dive over the wall. He's going to be going for blue.
Yep, and that's of course going to go to Reginald. Very good choice there. It's been pinged. I don't think Jack can show up in time. He might go for the smite. Oh, he got it! He got it with smite. Nice job by Jack. Good read there. Clairvoyance or the ward, whichever way it was. Well, you figure. Yeah, that was a CV. That was a good CV there. Good coordination. And with the ward, they saw that Karthus went over, like, it must be blue. That's what map awareness will do for you, of which I know nothing about.
So it is just after that 25-minute mark. We're 26 minutes into this matchup, 5-7. Team kills in favor of TSM right now. 3-1 in turrets as well. They are up there, and they are going to be going for another dragon here. Bombs going on as they jump in, but it's going to be a Baron attempt as they go for it. Looking at Team Solo mid right now, they do have a wriggle, so they may be doing the damage they need to. There it is. Defile helps them to get that. Locust and Jet out of position here. They could be caught. They come through the bushes without too much vision, and it's going to be TSM with that Baron. Very nice job. A Mystic Shot takes down Reginald, but that Karthus ulti to come out also drops him as well. Cutie Pie goes down. He is the only one so far. No, Void Boy has also fallen as we see Jack go down too. The jump coming in for Tristana takes out on Locust, and they're going to continue to chase down here. Skara forced to go down after facing the pillar. Another jump from Tristana. Can Kaox make this happen? Staying alive, just stunned right under the turret. He comes out with just a few bits of health.
He does fall to the turret at the very end there, keeping him up damage, but the sustain there from the lifesteal, the bonus armor, and Sona enough to keep Kaox alive long enough to kill him. So 2 deaths, 5 kills. TSM also with Baron buff, pushing through. Another turret goes down, and they're in great shape right now. Jack's going to do what he can, but an excellent, excellent fight by Solo mid. Logo's actually not even able to pop his ultimate. I would have thought he'd try to push away the Karthus at some point, but never got that down. That would have been supremely helpful, pushing back the Karthus and then also healing up in case that Requiem came in later. I got to call that a bit of a mistake, but see what else they can do here. Red buff going to go there. Solo mid.
That was a lot of damage on Baron. Usually you have at least 15 to 20% left by the time the team passes that second part of the river. Looks like an initiation here by Jad as he goes in, not expecting to find 4 members of Team Solo mid. Sona coming up on the end to help that one, but Rainman, Odd One, and Reginald cleaning it up for themselves. That's going to be a free dragon as well. So 300 plus another 190 gold. TSM 41,000 to Dignitas' 36.
Skara going to keep trying to farm, but he was not that helpful in the team. But he revived Ezreal, and it did result in the death on Tristana. But Reginald so far ahead of Skara right now. You can see minions up 74, kill score 4-1 and 7 versus 2-3 and 1, not nearly as good. We'll see if TSM can continue to control this map, or if Dignitas can get some team fights going in their favor. I feel like the late game comp for TSM is better, so they might continue this way. And actually, I'm wrong about Frozen Mount, by the way. It's actually Saphage and then into Warmogs. That's what Trundle went for there.
All right. So he's still getting a little bit of the slow. He's Contaminate kind of helps him get there anyways. Yep. That'll definitely be a bit of assistance to him. Dignitas playing very careful right now. Not necessarily turtling, but they do want to have this next fight initiated in their favor. It's not going to be anywhere in these lanes. It's not going to be in the jungle for them. It's really not where it's going to work. Team Solo mid is just too strong right now. They still have 2 members right now with Baron. Looking at Maokai, he still has his, so that's 3 members on Baron. And they are going to be pushing this top lane. A very nice job rolling with the minion waves. That Tristana blowing out the Q, and she is just going to quick shot this turret down. Very nice damage there. Nobody else is even really hitting it too much as they're trying to initiate the fight. Great job by the Odd One. Twisted advance in, and he knocks them all up, but they are forced to back out. They now know that Gangplank ulti is down, though, so that may make this initiation a little bit more tasty for them.
Yep, Sona and Maokai will continue to sustain themselves and the rest of their team back up if they can. The Baron buff, of course, not a slouch either. And wow, Kaox, so good on items right now. Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer. Look at his stats right there. Some armor pen, a little bit of lifesteal, but a very high crit chance, excellent range, damage output, all that, just except for 202 attack damage. He's in great shape.
Great job of pushing all the lanes here, especially having Trundle on that teleport if he needs to go bottom. They're going to put more pressure here on mid. They do have a siege minion, that little cannon minion within the mix, so that's going to be taking the turret shots for him. It takes more than the usual ones, and they are going to initiate here. Skarner goes in. It looks like he goes to grab, but he gets Crescendo down, and Jat is instantly dropped as he has made the focus of the fight. Like I said, they would not be able to attack off a turret, and they tried to initiate there. It's going to be Voyboy coming up on Reginald's ulti. The Chrono Shift working for him, but it looks like he will go down again. And it is going to be Team Solo Mid having their way with Dignitas inside of their own base.
Yeah, that's another ace for them in a row, and they're down to the inhibitor. This is almost definitely going to be Solo Mid taking the 2-0 and having another chance against Epic in the grand finals, pushing down. This one turret's going to be the focus. Rainman going to take it for his team. Another 5 seconds on the revives. KX going to jump in there to kill minions faster. One more turret to go. The minions are back in the fray for them as well. It's going to be Team Solo Mid. Actually, they might get pushed back. The old Skarner back. Half health. Will they do enough damage? It's going down. Probably going to be the case. And Solo Mid moving on to the grand finals against Epic. You need to win 3-1 to take it over.
Wow. And there you hear the crowd chanting it out for TSM, playing an amazing game there. Dignitas coming out strong, but TSM just too strong with that team composition. They ran it through twice. If it's not broken, don't fix it, and that's what they're rolling with.
An excellent play. The Zillion was not a major factor. Just excellent job by Reginald and the Odd One to keep Skara down.